good afternoon, and welcome. Welcome indeed. Yes, this is very key to a Thursday edition of the Mark Moses Show podcast, as we're always broadcasting from the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Take back control of your life. Call them today. This is very key. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Yes, it's Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Yeah, welcome to a Thursday edition of the show. And I want to start with this. We got much to discuss. I have to start with the Orlando Magic. I know. March Madness is going on right now. UCF's about to tip off there at the Big 12 tournament against Arizona. Florida's going to play tomorrow. I heard the news that Miami of Ohio lost in their conference tournament, so they're not going to go undefeated on the season. But no. I have to start with the Orlando Magic from this standpoint. They have now won 5 games in a row. 5. Not 1, not 2. It's like LeBron. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. No, 5 in a row. And they got a big win last night. If I go to the stats, they're at the Kia Center, national TV. It was on ESPN. Magic defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers, who they are trailing in the Eastern Conference standings. They won 128-122. That was a big win for the Magic. They were up double figures in that fourth quarter, and then you saw this where Donovan Mitchell and James Harden started going crazy, hitting shots down the stretch and cutting into that lead. And they got it all the way to 2 with about 90 seconds to go, and the Magic kept answering the Cavaliers. That was gigantic for the Magic. It's funny. Ever since I went to that game with Coach Mims 2 Sundays ago when they got beat up by Detroit, they've won every single game since then. That is wild to say. But I thought, all right, Magic are going to probably be in the play-in tournament, and maybe they're not that good. They have won every game since I went to that game. Maybe I should be banned from the Kia Center then. Maybe I shouldn't go moving forward. But again, 6-point win. And I'll tell you, down the stretch 2 minutes ago, Tristan da Silva had 2 big 3-point shots and nursing the 2-point lead late in the game, 10 seconds ago. The ball goes to Desmond Bane, and he hits kind of this on the right wing, kind of floating off balance 3-point shot, hits it, dagger, game over. That was a big win. Look at these stats. Paolo, 25 points in the win. Bane, 35 points in the win. And the third banana in all this, the guy's really stepped up as Franz Wagner has been out over the last couple weeks. Again, Tristan da Silva, 23 points in the win. This team is starting to gel. This is the team we've wanting to see all season long. From November, December, January, all the way to now. This team is finally clicking. They are. The Orlando Magic, as of today, are in the 5th seed. There's a tiebreaker they have with Miami, so it's 5-6. They are 3 games out of the 4th seed Cleveland, the team they beat last night. And they were right there. And it wasn't a fluke. It wasn't an upset. The Orlando Magic won that game last night. Here's what they have moving forward. Tonight at the Kia Center, if you want to go, the Washington Wizards will be there. Maybe someone on the Magic will drop 83 points like Bam Adebayo did the other night. Maybe it'll be Wendell Carter Jr. Maybe he'll drop 80 on them. Anything's possible. But they have tonight Wizards. Then they have the Heat on Saturday there in South Florida. That's going to be a great game. Then at Atlanta, which was supposed to be, next Monday, the 16th. Remember, that was supposed to be the Magic City game where they're going to have, that Magic City strip club be the theme of the evening. And Adam Silver, the commissioner, put the kibosh on that. They're still playing the game, but it won't be Magic City night. Then Thunder, and then at Hornets, then host the Lakers. 5-game winning streak. Can they keep it going? No update as of right now when Franz Wagner can get back on the court. But you know what? If he needs to rest, keep resting. keep him ready for the playoffs. They're still going to need him. But right now, I'm sorry. The breakout, and Bain has been the MVP of late. Paulo's been great. They go back and forth who's the best player on the court and who's the number one scoring option. But the third option, Tristan da Silva, has been fantastic for this basketball team. You're not joking around from the standpoint. I called him the poor man's Franz Wagner. That's what he's playing like. He has been great. And when Franz comes back, I'm going to put one on the bench. I'm going to have one start. And this can be a 1-2 punch where one guy goes to the bench, next guy comes in like a hockey line. And right now, I'm starting Tristan da Silva, and I'll bring Franz off the bench. I'm not kidding. That's how crazy this is getting right now. This is exciting stuff. This is the best they have looked in 2 years. And I said this the other day. I'm going to say it again to you right now. Where would this team be if they didn't have Desmond Bain? They gave up 4 first-round picks to get him in the offseason. Remember, it was Father's Day weekend. I remember this. Honestly, they should have given up more draft picks for him. He has been a steal, and he has been one of the big reasons this team has stayed above 500 and now clicking at the right time. Man, that 3 late was gigantic by Desmond Bain. 18 games to go, and then we're going to see what happens in the postseason. This is the best they've looked in 2 years. And again, Wizards tonight, they should win tonight. Then at the Heat, that's a toss-up. That's going to be a great game. Hawks, Thunder next week. Oh, I'm going to that. I got to see the champs. And maybe potentially the back-to-back winning MVP in SGA. That is going to be great. So that's the Magic. That was awesome. Again, March Madness, UCF, they're playing right now, Big 12 tournament, taking on Arizona. I think yesterday, that win in overtime by a point against Cincinnati, I think that punched their tickets. 21 wins, I think that'll get them into the NCAA tournament. I think Cincinnati's out. I think UCF's in. If they win today, then that would be incredible. I just don't see it. Gators will play tomorrow. We will find out by tonight who they're going to take on. But yes, Gators play tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern with the tip. Again, tomorrow, not today. So again, March Madness all day long, nonstop. But I am excited about the Magic. I am. Wizards tonight, win by 35 points. And maybe Wendell Carter Jr. and get 35 in the first quarter. Maybe it could be one of those things. Maybe he could be like Bam Adebayo. So that is the Magic. That is basketball at this hour. This morning, I had a great conversation with a good friend of mine, Sports Anchor. They're in the Tampa, St. Pete area. I go on TV with all the time. He is Mike Cairns. He was at South Florida practice on yesterday. I'm going to start the conversation with that. You know, Brian Hartline, new coach, used to be the coordinator at Ohio State, and then we'll get into the big one. Yes, Mike Evans signing with the Niners. Had the press conference today, and he pretty much said, quote, you know, they were looking for the final piece. I'm the final piece. Here's Mike Cairns. Let's bring this up right now, right here on the Mark Moses Show. Couldn't join us. You were there, first spring practice. Brian Hartline's the new coach. Dude, spring practice, were you excited to be out there? We'll start there.
I was. I love college football. And it was just exciting because they basically had to wipe the slate clean. They've only have 4 returning starters to the team, 41 guys from the portal. So 106 guys took the field yesterday. 4 of them actually took snaps last year for the Bulls. It's going to be a completely new team for Brian Hartline.
Is there high expectations coming off last year, or is it just like, we'll wait and see this fall?
Yeah, I think they got to wait and see because first of all, they've got the quarterback competition. You've got 2 transfers. You got Croman Hawk coming in from Florida State. You got McCarthy Jr., who's coming in from LSU. Those guys are going to battle for the starting position. Byron Brown's long gone. All their running backs are gone. All their wide receivers are going to be new. Everything. I mean, they're basically stripping down a car and building it again. That's what's happening in Tampa.
You've been doing this a long time, and you talk about this love of college football. But when you talk Gators and Florida State and UCF and South Florida, Is that all wait and see where so many transfer portals, new quarterbacks? Is that how you try to tackle it as a sports anchor?
I think you have to. It's because of this new portal era, the way things are set up. I think every college football team basically is a wait and see because whoever wins the portal doesn't necessarily mean they're going to win. Remember the year that Florida State had when they almost went undefeated and completely lost the team and portaled up the next year and it was a disaster. So you don't know what to expect. Sure, there are a lot of great players that are available through the portal, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to transfer immediately to whatever field they got on the next season. So I think you kind of got to wait and see, and it kind of starts to come together in the spring.
Notice I didn't say the Miami Hurricanes. I didn't. They do this all the time. Pound for pound, is Miami Hurricane football the best here in the state of Florida right now?
It has to be. I mean, it has to. Really, the only thing they do is plug and play quarterbacks, right? I mean, they did a great job getting Carson Beck. Look what he did. I mean, he was phenomenal last year. I think Miami's the cream of the crop in the state. No question about it.
Will they ever recruit and start a high school football quarterback at Miami? I say no. What are your thoughts, Mike?
I think I agree with you. I just can't see that happening. That is such a big leap. Going from college to the pros is also a leap. I think high school in a lot of ways to college is such a huge leap because you're taking a 17, 18-year-old kid and throwing him in against guys who played, some guys, 5 years in college football. Boy, that's a big leap, man.
Yeah, you're not joking around. So that's college football. Follow Mike, especially on social media and on Spectrum Sports 360 for the latest on spring practice. Let's go to the NFL. I've had Buccaneer insiders, fans tell me nonstop over the last couple of days. They are not happy. They are upset that their boy Mike Evans is going to the Niners. What's the feeling you're getting being there in the Tampa region?
Same exact thing. They're absolutely upset when you lose a future Hall of Famer. The greatest football player ever to wear pads for the Buccaneers is gone. According to his agent, they made a very aggressive offer. But you don't know where the blame lies. I've heard Todd Light. I've heard that he didn't trust the offense that Zach Robinson is bringing in this season. He's certainly upset the way things ended last season. He didn't like Josh Gazard's offense last year. Of course, he's gone. Is it Jason Light? Where does the blame lie for letting the greatest player in Buccaneers history walk to the Niners? I don't know who you can blame, but I can tell you this. From the people that I've talked to and knowing Mike Evans, he was ready to start somewhere else. He would have loved to finish his career with the Bucs, Mark. But after last year, I think after that disappointing way that the season finished, and this is no knock on Baker Mayfield, because part of his criteria for a new team was a top-notch quarterback, a guy who can throw the ball downfield, an offense that challenges the defense, so an aggressive offense. Those are two of the biggest things for Mike Evans. And I think San Francisco's the perfect place for him. I think Brock Purdy's an excellent quarterback. I think that system is phenomenal. You have Christian McCaffrey there. That offense, plug in Mike Evans, that offense is ready to win a lot of games. So I think he landed in the right place. I wish him well. I think he's a great guy. The community is going to miss him as much as the football field because he and his wife did so much in the Tampa area. I mean, the Mike Evans Foundation still makes lots of money for the Tampa Bay community and gives lots of money to the community. So I think it's tough to say who to blame, but there is blame. And the fans certainly have called out Jason Light and Todd right at the top. Todd Bowles right at the top of their most wanted list.
All right, I want your thoughts on this because you brought up the first part of, all right, he's not on the Buccaneers, which just pains every Buccaneers fan out there. But second, is it also a slap in the face like, oh, wait a minute. One of our greatest players has told us our team is not a contender. I need to go play for contender now in San Francisco. Does that kind of show, we're not good right now if Mike Evans says we're not good?
That's a great point because I think when you read the release from his agent, that's what I got out of it. It told me that he did not think the Bucs were a Super Bowl team. Sure, they can win games, but he doesn't think they're going to go deep in the playoffs. basically by agreeing to the contract he agreed to, he thinks he's got 2 to 3 years left, and he does not think the Buccaneers can get there in 2 to 3 years. Now, that could be an indictment on the system that they're about to run, the fact that they haven't made a coaching change. They've certainly got a great wide receivers room. But I think, to me, just like you pointed out, that was the biggest shock. He basically came out and said, without saying, that the Buccaneers are not going to make it to the Super Bowl anytime soon.
Do you feel like the last couple of years have kind of hurt this organization? And it's not really their fault, where every single year they keep losing offensive coordinators to become head coaches. It's a back and forth. What's your take then, Mike?
Yeah, you could almost say it's like the proving ground for offensive coordinators. You're right. I mean, what is it, 5 in a row now? The last, not the last 2, but 2 of the last 3 have become head coaches. Maybe what they should have done was offered one of them to be the head coach. Maybe make a change. Maybe make Liam Cohen your head coach and Todd Light goodbye. But of course, Todd Light was coming off a playoff win. So that's hard to, and a lot of teams change offensive coordinators because a lot of teams lose them to head coaching jobs. The Bucs do a very good job, you can say this, at picking out offensive coordinators that fit their system. I think they do a very good job at identifying that.
See, here's what's so crazy about this whole story. All right. You look at Todd Bowles and what he's done over the last couple of years. He's going to the playoffs. There's consistency. They're even winning playoff games under Todd Bowles. Do you think in hindsight, would you have all right, sorry, Todd Bowles, even though you're winning, you got to go. We got to make Liam Cohen, who's never coached before in the NFL, as head coach. We're going to make him. They think you're crazy in the last couple of years. Don't you feel the same way?
I do. Yeah, it's tough to say that. And Todd Bowles hasn't won a lot of playoff games. His playoff record's terrible. They've only gone deep a couple of times. The Super Bowl team was Bruce Arians' team. So Todd Bowles just was there as a defense coordinator. But that's crazy. You're right. And I don't know how many teams have ever, if any, in NFL history would do that. But who could say what kind of success Liam Cohen was going to have in Jacksonville? Who could say what kind of success Dave Canales was going to have in Carolina? They're both very good offensive coordinators. And eventually people thought maybe they could be successful as a head coaching level. But who would have thought what Liam Cohen did last year in Jacksonville? Did an awesome job.
Look, let's put this in hindsight, because 6 years ago, if you would have told me Tom Brady's going to the Buccaneers, I'd be like, you're out of your mind. All right. And then they won the Super Bowl. There's a part of me with the Bucs fans. The fact that you had Brady and you won Super Bowl, what are you talking? The Cleveland Browns can't get to the Super Bowl. They can't. Detroit doesn't know where the Super Bowl is on a map. And the fact that you had Tom Brady, does it still blow your mind 6 years later with that story?
It really does. I mean, I remember the day that I had to report it. I remember the breaking news about the whole thing that they got Tom Brady. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a joke. I thought somebody was kidding around. I was like, why would Tom Brady want to come to Tampa? I mean, is the team – when he wanted to come here, I thought, wow, are the Bucs really that close to a Super Bowl? Does he really think that this is his last ride with a team that could make – why the Bucs? Very strange. It was a decision that definitely caught a lot of people off guard.
And then on top of that, you get Baker Mayfield for nothing. And I remember going into that training camp, I'm like, this probably won't work with Baker. And then he turns into a Pro Bowl level player for the Buccaneers for nothing on a discount. It's wild, dude. It really is. So here's the question. Do you have high expectations for the Buccaneers this fall? Is it wait and see like the Bulls? Is it one of those things?
Wow. I mean, right now they're the second best team in the state. Jacksonville's the best football team in Florida. Number 1. 2 is the Bucs, and then a distant third of those poor Miami Dolphins. And I love Dolphins as mammals, but I don't know what's wrong with the Miami Dolphins. That's a whole other podcast for us. But what do I think about? First of all, everybody in the division has gotten better. The Saints went out and made some key. The Carolina Panthers spent money like crazy in free agency. The Bucs kind of stayed the same. Now, I know they just signed a defensive lineman, former Patriots defensive lineman, a very good player. But I don't know, first of all, and they went out and, got Kenneth Gainwell as their running back, basically takes over for Rashad White. So I was kind of looking at who they got and how that sets up for them. So, a roundabout way of answering your question, I don't have high expectations. Do I think they'll be a winning football team? Yes. Maybe 9-7 if all things go well. But here's the problem, Mark. The last 3 years under Todd Bowles, they have collapsed in the second half of the season and run themselves almost out of the playoffs. And last year they did. It caught out to them. The 2 seasons before that, they barely made the playoffs coming down the stretch. They had to rely on a team to win for them to get in when they had 4 or 5 chances that they blew in a row to make the playoffs. That's on the coach. I'm sorry. I know players play the game, but that's on the coach. They're not getting these guys ready to play these games. You can't do that when you know what's on the line and you still go out and lay egg after egg after egg. That, to me, tells that this football team's not ready for big games. That's why I think the division has caught the Bucs, and I think it's going to be a dogfight to win it this year. And I think it's between the Saints and Carolina, to be honest, and I never thought I'd say that. I think the Bucs are in trouble this year for this division because I think 9 wins is your ceiling.
I agree. You know what I love about this conversation is Mike is so used to asking the questions to other people that there's a part in his face like, oh, wait, now I have to answer now. All right, now you want my thoughts. That's what I love about it. I know how you feel, buddy. I really do. Dude, they did make good moves on Monday, but you lost Mike Evans. It doesn't matter. No, that's the feeling I'm getting right now from everyone in Central Florida. How did you let him leave the building? How? And then in hindsight, why is Todd Bowles still the coach here? I don't understand. There's so many question marks. And don't worry, we have all summer to talk about it. All summer.
Yeah. I mean, 108 touchdowns and 13,000 yards walks out the door. You can combine all 4 guys in that wide receiving room, and they're not going to replace Mike Evans. That's no knock on Chris Godwin, great football player if he can stay healthy. Emeka Egbuka, going to be a great football player. They're not Mike Evans. That's what it comes down to. And I don't see how, I don't know who picks up the slack. And that's crazy.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. I'll let you go. I remember his first training camp there at One Bucks Place. And I always think of when you go to training camp for the Buccaneers or any training camp, they'll do those wide receiver drills where they line them up against a cornerback. And each Bucs receiver stop by, and they all look like wide receivers. Then this dude shows up, 6'4", 230 pounds, and he is a monster. And you're like, yeah, I think we got something here. And that was that first thing. And that was before he jumps. And you're like, this guy, I think he is Mount Rushmore all time Buccaneers players. I hold, and I want your thoughts on this. I hold high regard for that team that won the Super Bowl. And I still think they're going to be the greatest of all time. Just loved, because I think of Sapp and I think of Lynch and I think of Derek Brooks, but I think Mike Evans is right up there. How would you look at it with his career?
Yeah, I got to agree with you for sure. He is the center face on Mount Rushmore for the Bucs. No question. And Derek Brooks and Lynch that you mentioned and Sapp, great players. They're right there beside them. And I agree with you. That was the greatest team they ever had. That team that won the Super Bowl, the greatest Bucs team in Bucs history. Mike Evans is the pinnacle for Bucs. But let's also do on the other side. Mike Evans needs to stay healthy. He's got to stay healthy for San Francisco too. Mike Evans has missed games in each of the last 3 years. And it has cost the Bucs. The Bucs did not play very well without Mike Evans. Why would they? The greatest player on their team. Nobody high points of football like Mike Evans does. Nobody. But he's had issues health-wise. The hamstring has been a big problem for him for years. Last year was hamstring and ankle. So Mark, as great as he is, if he can't stay healthy, he's not going to be much help in San Francisco either.
Well, a good thing he's going to the one team that everyone gets injured all the time, and they still compete somehow. Hey, Mike, what can we check out with your coverage for the rest of the week?
Well, today I'm on Athlete of the Week coverage, so I'm not in studio. I won't be back. I'm off for a couple days. I actually get a nice 4-day weekend. So, nice. But I know the guys in studio will be wrapping up as they get ready for college basketball season, man. I mean, this is going to be great. We got Selection Sunday coming up. We got the first round of the NCAA tournament here in Tampa. Most likely Florida's going to be the number 1 seed here. So we'll have Florida. And I've been checking Lenardi's bracketology every day to see what the bracket looks like here in Tampa. He has, from day one, he has not changed Florida as the top seed. And I think everybody knows that's the worst kept secret, that Florida is going to be the top seed here in Tampa. That they're going to be a huge draw, defending national champs, probably the best team in college basketball right now, by far. The way they're playing right now, they're the best team in college basketball. They're going to be here in Tampa. I also see potentially Ohio State could be here. Another great team. North Carolina, I've seen in his brackets as well. So this is shaping up to be a great first 2 rounds here in Tampa. So we got Selection Sunday. I know the guys are big on Sunday. They're going to have some experts come in and talk about the brackets once they get filled up. So that's probably going to be the biggest thing to watch for here on the 360.
You're absolutely right. And UCF won yesterday. I think that helped them punch the ticket. I don't see them beating. I want them to, but I don't see them beating Arizona today at the Big 12. Hopefully, maybe they go to Tampa, but I could see them where it's like they'll send them to like Spokane, Washington or something. That's probably the 11 p.m. tip-off. That's what'll happen.
Oh, man. And, it's funny because people said that about the Knights yesterday. I saw all this social media like, man, Cincinnati blew it. They let that game get away. I'm like, no, the Knights are better than Cincinnati. That should have never been an overtime game. It should have never even been that close. They should have blown the Bearcats out. So thank you, Cincinnati fans, that you got to go to overtime, because the Knights are a way better team than Cincinnati.
I agree. Mike, thank you so much for coming on. Enjoy the next couple of days, and I hope I can get you on again sometime. All right?
Anytime, buddy. You know that.
Great stuff. Love talking to that fine gentleman. Yes, he is Mike Cairns, sports anchor there for Spectrum Sports 360, Tampa and Orlando. I will be on Sunday night there on the show breaking down the brackets when those get released, which I always love to do. All right, so far, Arizona 14-4 on UCF, 14:38 left there in the first half. Again, the win yesterday against Cincinnati is probably going to help UCF get in the dance. Just make it respectable today. I think that's what you need to do. So what I'm going to do is we're going to end the show early today. We're just going to go half an hour. Then I'm going to keep watching UCF basketball and tournament stuff nonstop over the next couple of days, especially Gators play tomorrow, 1 o'clock with the tip, SEC tournament there from Nashville. We don't know who they're going to take on just yet. We'll know by later tonight. But yes, thanks again to Mike. Magic are red hot. That's my pick for tonight. I'm going to be watching Magic Wizards, and maybe a Magic player can score 83 points like Bam Adebayo did the other night. Magic won 5 in a row, buddy. And yeah, those photos I'm seeing online of the press conference from San Francisco, Mike Evans as a Niner, is still shocking to see. Hey, we're always broadcasting from the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Take back control of your life. Yes, it's Anidjar and Levine. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow right here on the Mark Moses Show.